Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome back to another Movie Mates episode. I'm Matthew here with my wonderful co-host and best friend.
Callum.
So yeah, hi buddy. Today we're back talking about Riverdale again.
Yes,
So
unfortunately.
yeah, we have a lot to say about this. Sort of, could you call it a finale? I don't know if you could.
I mean, it's the last episode of the season, regardless.
Yeah. So this will just be basically a review of this episode, and then maybe like our general thoughts on the series as a whole. So
Sure.
yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And shout out to Buff Shaggy on YouTube.
I think that was quite a specialized episode for Buff Shaggy. I don't think he'll be commenting again.
No, but I just burst out laughing when I saw that comment. It's great.
Did you check out his channel?
That's
It's Buff Shaggy,
yeah.
one of the legends of YouTube, has 61 episodes dedicated to one scene of Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
I just want to know how you found our episode. He definitely listened to it as well. That's the thing. He definitely listened to it.
I don't know, maybe just he's that dedicated to the craft. He's doing searches every day.
I respect that. I really respect that. But nonetheless, yeah, be sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for everyone's support recently, and yeah. So, Callum, do you want to crack on with your? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on season 4, episode 20. 19. 19.
So obviously, because of the coronavirus outbreak, they didn't finish filming of this season. So this is the de facto season finale. And overall, I think it's a big disappointment for in regards to that. As a general one-off episode, it's perfectly serviceable. But as a season finale, it really doesn't deliver. But obviously, that's not the fault of the show.
Yeah, for sure. I suppose we're just going full spoilers, yeah?
Yeah, full spoilers.
Well, I thought this episode really made a really curious decision in sort of portraying Mr. Honey as like a secret good guy throughout the series, I guess, because he was the one responsible for most of their university applications. I guess you could view it like that. So, I just thought it was really interesting. Like, what are your thoughts? Do you think that's him done? Well, obviously this is the season over, but do you think they have more plans for that character?
Well, I mean, obviously, at the tag of last episode was that he is a frequenter of the sort of messed up video shop,
Yeah.
and I think if the season hadn't had that one scene in it, he would have been an obvious good guy. But now, obviously we have to think dubiously of him. So I think he'll be back.
I think so too. I just thought it was really interesting, like, the whole sort of storyline that Jughead was sort of writing about killing Mr. Honey. And part of me did think, by the end of the episode, I honestly thought it was going sort of for the plot line of Mr. Honey like kills himself or something in the episode. I don't know if you got that as well, but I sort of thought it was gonna sort of build up to and draw that line between like fact and fiction and stuff, and then it would end up that he does die, but not at the hands of the Riverdale gang. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sort of with Riverdale being Riverdale, I did half expect them to like pull a switcheroo where at the end it says like 1 week later, and then it turned out every event that Jughead was writing about did happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not disappointed that didn't happen because I like Mr. Honey for the most part, and I hope I hope that he was just going in for some innocent videos.
Yeah.
I want him to be a good guy because we sort of see at the end of the episode that like Jughead regrets having like reveled in the idea of this guy being hurt, and it was a very good lesson for him to learn, and I don't really want him to unlearn that, which I think if Mr. Honey turns out to be a bad guy.
For sure. Like, I think we both agree that this season's been very like Jughead and Betty orientated, and we've sort of seen them become more dark as the season progresses. So I think you're 100% right. Like, it was a very important lesson for Jughead to learn, because I think probably many fans would agree, like, he's almost become too dark at the moment, like faking his own death and stuff. And there's a lot, and obviously that story, like that was a brutal story about Mr. Honey and stuff. So Yeah, like I don't know whether like who are your thoughts or what are your theories on like the videotapes and stuff? Because at the start, maybe we were thinking along the lines of Mr. Honey or maybe Charles and Chick. I'm just interested to hear your thoughts because I've got a bit of a hot take of a theory that I haven't seen anywhere yet, so I'm interested. So what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, I have almost no thoughts. The only sort of suspects that they have established are the ones that you've mentioned. So I suppose Charles and Chick is the most obvious they're the most obvious contenders at the moment. Please tell me about your hot take.
It's quite a stretch, but I think could be Jelly Bean. I don't know because in the last few episodes, like she's been in really weird scenes where she like just enters for no reason. I mean, in this episode, she's the one that finds the videotape, and like Mr. Honey found his videotape, which it turns out to be him recording it. I don't know. I just thought that was a really weird timing, and also I think she appeared in like an episode or two before this, and when everyone's watching the videotapes, and everyone just tells her to go upstairs, and I thought that was quite a weird scene because why include that? It just I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I think she would be a real suspect for it. Just sort of, I don't know, just left field. I don't know I don't know, but we'll see.
That's not what I'm hoping for. I like that.
That would be fun. I don't know. I don't know where they'd go with it or something, or if it turns out that like Charles isn't Betty's, and Jughead's like half brother or whatever. But it will be interesting because like what are your thoughts on like Charles and Chick? Like, do you think that could be the possibility or what?
I mean, I really hope there isn't another Charles-related switcheroo where it's still not the right Charles. I'm so sick of that shit.
Yeah.
We're like season 3 was more than enough covering that. But I like I suppose that they are my greatest contenders for the suspects of the voyeur, but I would like a more interesting resolution, which I think Jelly Bean is much more interesting.
I don't know. It is quite unlikely, but I just thought that would be an interesting sort of dynamic because she's sort of like I don't know, she's sort of a character that I wouldn't necessarily think of before this season as like a potential villain and stuff, but you never know. Like the way they sort of concluded the Stonewall Prep saga, it looks like they're bringing that back again, maybe in the next season because obviously Mr. Honey's now the principal of Stonewall. So, well, I don't know. Like, do you think we could see a reappearance of Donna and Brett and stuff like that?
I really hope not. I found them unbearable. I just could not get them. But I mean, I thought that pretty much Stonewall had just been shut down entirely. But it seems that they just pretty much fired the staff. I mean, that they should like burn that place to the ground.
Like, to be fair, like it seems like Riverdale High was doing quite well under Mr. Honey too. No deaths under his watch and stuff. So he seemed like a pretty efficient principal.
I know. I mean, I'm glad that the show had enough self-awareness to recognize it by the end of the episode. But like these kids are deranged lunatics. I mean, like they have no reason to believe that, like Mr. illegal stuff. So like they're talking about like waterboarding him and murdering him, like for him like very justifiably punishing them for inappropriate behavior.
Yeah. I think Betty was being serious. She was like, we should kill him.
I mean, her eyes were lighting up, and like Veronica was like, "Oh yeah, I have a secret like murder lodge."
Yeah, I know.
I feel I would not put it past these kids.
Like one like this is gonna sound really weird, but one thing I was sort of thinking of halfway through the episode was like if they did kill him, it wouldn't surprise me if a plot line that the writers go for is like them just turning dark and sort of becoming villainous all of a sudden because in many episodes they have the line has been quite narrow, because we've seen Betty like really dark before and stuff, and same with Veronica, especially in season 1, and so on. So as you said, I wouldn't put it past them to be honest, mate.
Yeah, I mean, we see in Jughead's story that maybe five of the main cast have been involved in burying a dead body.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not be surprised if they were the ones to commit the murder.
Yeah, I know. Like one sort of one news story that I don't know if it was necessarily a leak to do with Riverdale, but it was to do with season 5. Do you want me to say or not?
Is like
It's just
was a proposed plot line?
it was a proposed like setting of the 5th season.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so in a recent interview, is it Skeet Ulrich is FP?
Skeet Ulrich, yeah.
Skeet Ulrich. Yeah, sorry, I butchered that surname. He
No,
said
no.
that season 5 was set 5 years later. I don't know if that is public knowledge, but I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that there was like an official confirmation by a cast member, but I definitely heard some some people saying that that would be a good idea, so that it connected to Katie Keene, because that's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
set 5 years, and the fact that they're graduating would mean that that would line up. But I suppose they should save it for like the mid-season finale now, because like the first 4 or so episodes will be them just finishing the plot lines of season 4.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know when we can expect the next, or well, the finale to what would be season 4. I would imagine sort of, autumn time, but it's hard to say.
I mean, as I said in a previous episode, that some production companies have projected that they won't be filming anything until 2021.
Wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
we might not see anything new for any TV show or movie for 6 months.
Yeah. 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 Because it is interesting. Like at the start, I don't know what your thoughts were, but I was talking to our friend Cash, and him and I agree that like the start of season 4 we thought was pretty decent.
Wait, does he
Okay.
actually watch it?
Yeah, yeah, he watches the show, yeah. Shout out to Cash, absolute legend. But no, he was saying, season 4 started well and stuff, but then it just was a complete car crash, really, sort of after the halfway point. What were your thoughts on season 4 generally?
I mean, I think it's probably the best since season 1.
Okay, okay.
Obviously, we haven't had some sort of like outlandish plot hole ridden villain or anything. It's been pretty straightforward, and it's more crime oriented. I really don't mind it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely different to what we've seen before because, as we previously said, it is quite Jughead orientated with the Stonewall Prep story arc. But no, I think it's really interesting. It's probably my favorite since Black Hood, was it? So that's what, season 2?
Yeah.
Season 2. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you. I just like when they go for the more grounded, like high school stuff rather than, Archie in prison and stuff. It's not that season 3 was just not for me because it just felt like so, not well structured and sort of discombobulated because there's so many different story arcs in there. And to some extent, season 4 has those problems as well with, Veronica and Cheryl's maple rum business and stuff, and Hiram's disease and stuff. That's one other thing I wanted to ask you. I know this review is a bit all over the place, but what are your thoughts on like Hiram's sort of muscular disease? Like, do you think that's a serious plotline? I imagine it is, but what do you think?
I mean, like I always thought he was lying. Right from the off, I just assumed it was a lie. But
Yeah,
they've
me too.
actually given zero indication to that. All of the evidence appears to be on the contrary. When he was fighting off the gangster last episode, he sort of collapsed on the ground and then got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
So I think if he was, actually well, I don't think he would let that happen to himself.
Yeah, like in this episode, I was really happy to see like the parents sort of team up again, but everyone must have just forgot about Hiram's evil acts committed previously.
Well, I mean, most of them are murderers.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point.
They mention in the episode, like Jughead's like, oh yeah, that's the cabin where Hermione
Sheriff
Lodge
Minetta. Yeah.
got Minetta, and I'm like, oh,
I
didn't realize everybody knew about that.
No, I didn't know Jughead knew about that. I thought that was a secret only Hermione knew, but I don't know. It was a while ago, to be fair. So,
Like almost, I'd say most of the parents have either committed a murder or buried a body.
or are married to murderers, like in Alice Cooper's case. But
and
she what is it? Sorry.
she killed. Do you remember like the shady man that was coming after Chick in season 3?
Yeah, was that the one that she asked FP to help dispose of the body with?
Yeah,
That
and then
body,
this season, like they dug up the body and reburied it somewhere more secure.
but that plot line, like no one in Riverdale, in the town of Riverdale, knows about that yet. No,
Well, no, because FP was the sheriff, so he just covered it up.
fair
It's
enough.
such a it's
Yeah.
such a corrupt.
Is FP still the sheriff, or did he resign? I forget.
I'm pretty sure he resigned. Because like he said in this episode, like I'm just a concerned citizen.
Yeah.
And he's like I'm just the muscle, and I'm like
Yeah, there's a really funny line. Yeah, like in Pop's diner when like I think he's a little bit tipsy, so he just like has a martini or something. He's like, my Jughead boy is gonna be the first to go to college. Woo! That was just brilliant.
I asked myself that was hilarious. I
Uh,
was like he is carrying this show,
he's my
and
favorite.
I told you him and Alice are leaving next
I
season.
know,
I'm disappointed.
I know, because FP like Skeet Ulrich.
You just hate.
That's
He's
Skeet.
skeet.
He's generally a fantastic actor, and he's probably had one of the most successful and acclaimed character arcs throughout like season 1 and 2. He was in the Serpents for a while now. Like I think he's had one of the best character arcs in the show, me personally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think this season has been as big of a mess, but when you like dive deep into individual plot lines, the the weird side businesses and tickle porn. But
Maybe
aside
maybe it's
from
them.
that, like if you're just talking about sort of like the antagonists, I think this is probably a highlight since season one for
I
me.
agree. No, I agree. I think you're definitely right, bud. I forgot about the whole tickle porn story. I don't know where that's going, but that seems pretty sinister.
Hopefully in the bin.
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure. Like, if it is to take place 5 years later, what do you want to see as a potential storyline? Because I'd imagine either the characters are gonna all come back to Riverdale, for like a 5 year anniversary or something, or like they're just gonna have new characters. I don't know because obviously they'll be at different colleges and sometimes different countries. If Archie's going to that naval academy, so where do you think they're going to take it, or where would you like to see them take it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I assume that they're doing a 5 year time jump to avoid having to split them up, so that they can bring them back together and say, oh yeah, he's in the army now and they've all graduated, and then bring them back together. Because I do think it is their continued intention to keep them together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't really see where they should go with it. Uh, I think their stories are limited once they're out of high school.
I think so. I think so. I think I I don't know. Have any more seasons been confirmed after season 5? Because I would say one more season's probably enough to finish it.
Uh, Yeah, they've renewed it for season six, just a few days ago.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with it. Like as you say, there is limited amounts after they graduate from high school. So I don't know, but I'm hoping for good things because if season 4 is any way to go by, like hopefully it is in the upwards direction. Was there any other points you wanted to mention, Bud?
Yeah, for this episode, obviously we see throughout it that Jughead is writing a new story, and I feel like he's meant to be a really creative character. But I mean, all of his stories are based on real life.
It doesn't even disguise the names.
Yeah, I mean, he said he was going to change them later, but I mean, his story was called "Killing Mr. Honey."
Yeah, like
So that's going to have as good a ring when he changes it.
no, if those it just yeah, I suppose it's a stretch of his creative talent. If those actions weren't to happen in real life, would he have a good
Yeah.
storytelling ability? But who knows? Who
Because
knows?
I mean, they say write what you know, but I feel like as soon as he leaves Riverdale, nothing else ever is interesting
Yeah,
is going to happen again, and he's just going to run out of things to write about.
I know. Like just I do like the narrative of Jughead being the narrator, but then when you look back, that was a dead giveaway of that he wasn't going to die, I suppose, or that he wasn't dead because he was narrating the show. So I don't know whether
Yeah,
that is a plot hole or something, but I don't know. I do like that narrative of him being like him writing, even though they are all based on his on his real life events.
Yeah. I'm also kind of disgusted to see like Betty and Archie continuing their
Yeah.
relationships and their friends. Uh,
Mhm.
like they were all smiling and laughing and being happy in their relationships. I'm like, you two are disgusting.
I
I
know.
hate them.
Like that, they haven't even. I don't think they've even brought it up to either Jughead or Veronica yet.
No, they haven't, and they're
So
living their best.
I know planning murders, but yeah, that is a really. That's probably the worst decision I think they've made in season 4. That was awful. I thought,
Yeah.
but hey, hopefully they rectify that in season 5 and put things straight because I don't know. What couples do you ship in the Riverdale lore? Are you an Archie and Veronica fan, or what do you like?
Yeah, I really like the couples as they are now. I mean, I don't really like the characters of Archie, sorry, Betty or Jughead. They tend to piss me off, and I didn't really
Right.
like the former half of the season being really Jughead focused.
Yeah,
Because he seems a little too big for his britches.
he does.
You know, we haven't reviewed past seasons, but when he was like trying to be the head of a biker gang, and he was saying like, "I will beat the shit out of you," it was just embarrassing.
One thing I was a bit curious of was where's Monroe gone?
He got a full scholarship to Notre Dame.
Oh, is he just off the show now, or is he gonna be a guest character? Do you think again?
No, I assume he's like for whatever reason he was able to graduate early and then got his scholarship.
I quite liked him. Like he was jacked. He was huge, wasn't he?
Yeah, massive.
He was one. Well, one couple that I sort of like if they pursued it, and we saw a bit in season 3, I believe, maybe season 2, is Reggie and Veronica because I think for obvious reasons they have good chemistry because they're dating in real life. But I don't know. I quite like that.
Mm.
What about
They
you?
are apparently broken up,
Oh,
unfortunately,
really?
allegedly.
Oh, maybe don't go for that plotline then, just in case it'd be awkward.
Yeah, but no, they were probably the most tolerable couple on the show, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I quite liked Archie and Valerie in season 1 of Riverdale as
Oh
well.
no,
No, not a
no,
fan.
no. I think Archie with anyone's just annoying. Uh, the most tolerable he's been is when he was with Veronica, but him and Josie is one of the worst things
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
show's
agree.
done.
I agree. Don't know what they're
That was
doing
painful.
today. Any other points, my dude?
Well, like I think the kids are just quite inept in that they never considered just having their prom at like Le Bon Noé.
Yeah, like just have it off the record, off the books.
I mean, that's what we have to do. Like in the UK, like the schools don't organize the formal for you. You like the students do it.
Yeah, yeah. I do. I think you're right. When they when they're told they're not going to get a prom, they're like, "Let's kill him."
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, honestly, if I told my parents like, oh yeah, like we glued the principal to his chair and glued his hand to the phone, and he cancelled prom, like boo hoo us. Like my parents would be like, good, you deserve
You
it.
deserved it. Yeah, yeah. And also,
My into the school in my defense.
yeah. But likewise, Mr. Honey is quite adept because like he's caught by his own reflection in the video. What a guy! Brilliant, brilliant. Like I thought that was. I was like, Mr. Honey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I actually don't mind him. He's not. He hasn't. He's not like. He may have trashed Reggie's car, but he hasn't. He hasn't killed anyone. I don't think.
Well, like as long as he's not, watching videotapes, the illegal videotapes of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
murder, rage, sex,
Yeah.
like provided he isn't doing either of those and he's innocent on those charges, just as a principle, he seems like a good guy.
I agree. I agree. I don't know. I thought that was. I don't, it is interesting to see where they're going to go with like Mr. Honey, whether he was just a secret good guy or maybe there was more sinister undertones there, but it remains to be seen.
Yeah. Did you have anything further?
No, I have nothing else. What about you, my friend?
No, that was all for me. I found it quite an uneventful episode, but I suppose it was to be a filler episode. In the lead up to the finale, because I think this season was meant to be 23 episodes long.
Okay.
So, like even if filming had gone ahead, we would have had a while to go before we got
Yeah, yeah.
what they intended to be the finale. I don't think we've ever had you know, to wait until the finale for a villain reveal, have we? Other than the the Gargoyle King being Penelope Blossom.
Yeah, because Black Hood was revealed a little bit before, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think the killer of Jason Blossom was that revealed in the finale, or
I
was
think it
that
was
was
maybe one
episode
episode or
11?
two episodes before. Yeah, yeah, like 11 or 12. But no, like it's gonna be interesting to see how it unfolds at the start of season 5, or I don't know if they'll continue with it, referring it to as season 4. Remains to be seen. But um, yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up. If you're gonna give season 4 so far a rating out of 10, what would you give it?
I mean, if I had to rate it, I'll rate it in two ways. I'll rate it on enjoyment level and quality.
Okay,
So
go for it.
enjoyment level, like 9.5 out of 10, because
Good.
every time I watch it, I piss myself laughing, thinking these are inept lunatics. Uh, and then quality, like a 5.5.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair. I think you've been very fair there. I
Like considering the writing, the tickle porn, and the acting.
Yeah, I know. I do agree. I'd probably go for enjoyment a 9, and general criticism probably like a 6 or a 7. I thought it was serviceable. Not the best season, but probably the most consistent since season 2 for me. But yeah, I guess that's going to conclude today's mini review of sorts. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on season 4 of Riverdale down below. And thank you for everyone who supported us recently. We really appreciate it and love doing these episodes for you guys. So I've been Matthew. Have a nice day, guys, and see you later.
Bye bye.
Cool.